when you do things like this, okay, you need to understand the drive. If I was doing it for money, if I was doing it for revenge, if I was doing it for like any other human thing, then I would have greater fear, you know. But if you keep your compass that the more I'm doing this, we are stopping suicide bombing attacks. Suicide bombing attacks lead to death. Then they lead to retaliation from the state. Then they lead to more chaos. Okay. And those people, by the way, the victims of suicide bombing attacks, not only Israelis, Arab Israelis, Muslims, Americans, like the Hebrew University, for example, 6 Americans were killed, students at the cafeteria, on campus, you know. And I knew the people actually who sent those suicide bombers to carry the attack. One of them is Ibrahim Hamid, and I helped locate him, which was wanted for about 8 years. You know, now he's spending 85 life terms in Israeli prison. So we're talking about high-profile terrorists that did not only kill Israelis. You know, they killed Americans, they killed all type of people. So now, when you have ahead of your eyes, okay, in this very dangerous game, okay, all the money in the world is not going to give you security, you know, or give you comfort in that situation. Actually, even if you were paid, let's say, millions, what are you gonna do with the money? You're living in a small town where all the eyes on you, and even if you had all that money, you cannot spend it because you would be exposed immediately. You know, in fact, the Israeli intelligence, you know, did not like the fact that they had access to money from other sources, like the USAID or my father. They were very careful, you know, to tell me, careful how you spend the money that you take from your father, because people might think that we are the ones giving you the money, you know, and it was basically Hamas giving me the money. So practically, it's a very dangerous thing. And what can keep one alive in such a situation is your moral compass. What are you fighting for? If I was fighting for Israel, it would be limited. If I was fighting for Palestine, it would be limited. But how can you go wrong by saving a human life? Now we're talking. And this is where you get your comfort. This is where you get your power. This is where you get your insurance that there has to be someone up there watching the entire play, you know. And even if there was nobody there, I am the one who's seeing it, all the circumstances, you know. And now I'm such a small player in that game, but this small role that I'm having can save a human life, and this meant the world to me. So this is why I was alone, but I was not lonely. Like, you know, someone was watching over me all the time. Like someone was, and that's, I think, throughout the journey, even though, you know, you create your imaginary gods, you know, that they are with you, and your imaginary angels that they're like watching over you, protecting you. But practically I came to understand that's your own consciousness, and it's your own awareness, you know, of the fluctuations of the field of consciousness. And you just stay aware and you do the best within your ability. And that companion is a very powerful companion throughout my journey. You know, it's much more powerful than a person or just a million people praising you. You know, so I was alone for sure, but I was not lonely.
You know, that bombing at the Hebrew University cafeteria, I ate at that cafeteria every single day, and the bomb was probably about 3 feet away from where I used to sit every time. So we were a few months away. I had left Israel already, but I was a few months away from not being able to have this conversation, that's for sure, because it was right there in the French Hill, right? On the French Hill campus?
Yes. Yeah. Wow. It's, brother, I'm so glad that you are here and we are talking. I'm so glad that, you know,
Me too.
that eventually Hamas military wing in the West Bank, the head of the Hamas military wing, which was Ibrahim Hamid, that was a very sophisticated operation, that I brought him back to justice, and I say it proudly. Of course, it's a team effort, but without the intelligence that somehow existence gave me, we would have not arrested him in time. And if he stayed every day, this man was free. He was killing more people every day, every moment of his life. So now you tell me it's like, thank God, I'm alive. Also, it was like, thank God, it's like many others are alive because this man was brought to justice and is put in prison. Now my people disagree. My people think that this is a betrayal. They think that I'm a traitor, for bringing such a person. So what to do about this? What to do about it? How can I change their mind? And my mother is ashamed of me. She's ashamed of my name. She's ashamed that one day she gave birth to me. This is where it gets nasty and it gets very complicated. If I had been killed, which death was just around the corner throughout my journey in the Middle East, by accident or by getting exposed or anything, could have happened. But again, this was not the biggest challenge. It's like how you eventually disappoint your own mother, and put her to shame, and also I had to choose knowingly. I knew that I would hurt them. I knew, but there was no way around it. There was no way around it, and I had to step forward and tell the people things that they did not want to hear. That Israel is not our enemy, and also tell Israelis, Palestinians are not your enemy. It's just basically corrupt politicians that they profit out of the conflict, and they don't exist outside of the conflict. If there is no conflict, there is no need for them. So they create the situation where it's like people become dependent on them. It's just the old new play of politicians throughout the centuries. And if people continue to be sheep, if people continue to be just followers and believers, not having the minimum amount of intelligence to fight for who they are and what they perceive. I saw brutality and I rejected it completely, and for me at some point, it was not only brutality against Israel, it was Hamas brutality against Palestinians and against Arabs and against all type of life, and I could not just differentiate, say, okay, this is brutality against Israel, I approve it. And this is brutality against Palestinians, I don't approve it. This is what my father does, that he wants peace and he wants forgiveness only among the Palestinians, but not towards the others, the ones who are different in religion or different in race or different in lifestyle. This is not how the collective consciousness sees it. This is not how God sees it.